What is up, everyone? Oh my gosh. Apologies in advance for all the cats that are gonna come in and out of this video, but you guys know my life. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna get into it. Before I do, make sure and like and subscribe to our channel. We're gonna be doing all of our pregnancy journey and pretty much all the big information on this channel because it's just too much to put on any other platform and I just want it all in one place. And I've shared a lot of our journey so far with our IUI and infertility like stuff. You okay? So I just want to keep it all here and I hope you guys enjoy. So in this video, I'm just gonna basically go through what I think helped us get pregnant, because you guys do know we were doing a lot of fertility treatments. I've done everything pretty much you can possibly do up until IVF. So you name it, acupuncture, HSG tests, like all the things, I've done it. And we did a bunch of IUI and I just got to a point where I was exhausted. I felt like our relationship was not at its best because we were just so stressed out. And I don't know, I just had this feeling that we needed to take a break. I just felt it deep down and I really try to listen to like my intuition. So that's what we did. And I want to just tell you guys how I think we got pregnant, some changes that I made. I also want to tell you guys about all my first trimester, like things that happened and like stuff I didn't know about pregnancy. I feel like I honestly didn't pay that much attention in school, so maybe I missed this bit, but there is a lot of stuff that I feel like a lot of us don't know. So I did ask my doctor tons of questions. And also before I dive right in, I just want to say this is my experience, my pregnancy, stuff I've done. I'm not a doctor, don't follow this verbatim. This is just what worked for my body, my situation. I also have a very good doctor that is pretty much on call. I can call him whenever with questions. One of my best friends is a doctor and she's my personal trainer, personal therapist, all the things. One of my other best friends has been a nanny for 12 years and literally went to college about like children and how to basically be a nanny, and she's like such a great help. I also have a friend who has 3 babies, so like I have a lot of help at my fingertips. I'm very lucky. So I just want to clarify that, and I have a lot of resources and I've obviously had a lot of time to study all the things about like getting pregnant because I've just been through it all. Not all of it, but I've been through a lot. And so with that being said, I do just want to say that please don't shame me for anything I'm doing, or if you disagree, that's okay. Do what works for you. I'm doing what works for me and what my doctor has approved me to do, and just all the things. Just please take this with a grain of salt in all the ways, and I just want to share my story. Okay, so I first want to go through how I think I got pregnant. So we did do a ton of IUI, and we took about, I don't know if it was like 6-8 months of like a break, if you will. And I don't want to say we gave up, which we kind of did, but I just wanted to stop tracking my cycle. I wanted to stop obsessing over when we needed to like have sex and like time everything. It just didn't feel very romantic. And I remember at one point telling Blake, this just doesn't feel like how I want to bring a baby into this world. I want it to be because we're having fun, we're loving each other, we're just like in the mood and like felt like, doing it, and just I wanted it to be very organic and not like, oh, here's a doctor shoving a syringe up you. Like it just didn't feel like it was meant to be for us. I don't know, I can't explain it. It just didn't feel natural to me. No shame to anybody who does it. I tried that route, just wouldn't take for us. And so basically what we did is in the new year, I stopped drinking. Blake did as well. Blake wasn't really a big drinker anyways, but I definitely had a glass or 2 of wine every night, or every other night. And I'm like a casual drinker. I just decided in January I didn't want to drink anymore for the month. That was going to be just 1 month. I also, my entire life, have pretty much tried to not be addicted to anything that I can't have during pregnancy. I don't know why. It was an obsession of mine since I was like 5 to have a baby. So I have always tried to like not be addicted to any medication, just anything really, except for caffeine. That is my one addiction, and chapstick. But yeah, so basically I wanted to always know that if I got pregnant, I wouldn't have any difficulties not having something anymore. And again, that's different for everybody. I just am able to do that with my body. So I quit alcohol. And after January went by, I was like, you know what, this is actually kind of nice. Like, it was actually pretty hard to quit because you just kind of have the habit of getting a glass of wine. So after doing that, I was like, you know what, I'll just keep going until, you know, something really makes me feel like I need to drink again or have a drink or celebrate. I went to Vegas, I'd had weddings, and I still never felt the need to drink, and that was fine. Blake and I also do edibles of weed, so that was like a nice alternative. We have IBS and all these things, which you guys know, so it was definitely helping with that. I will say doctors, like some doctors did tell us to stop having weed. They told me to stop having caffeine, like wear socks at night. I've done all the like wives' tales or whatever you want to call them to help you get pregnant, and none of them worked. And I just decided to live my life. And honestly, it's the best thing ever because I don't have to change anything. So we just started living life, like hanging out all the time. Blake and I would have little nightly routines of him brushing my hair and just really spending quality time together. And with that, our F45 closed, the location we went to. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to take this as another lifestyle shift. A lot of people told me to stop doing HIIT training, which is like high intensity, just crazy workouts. And I'm a volleyball player. I've played sports my entire life, and I just couldn't imagine not doing a crazy workout. And I was like, you know what? It's just time. I'm going to try it. So I started walking at 4:30 in the morning with one of my best friends at the gym. And I did hikes every day, maybe twice a week. I was hiking with my physical therapist. So we would hike, I'd go to PT, I'd get up in the morning, I would walk for like maybe 2 miles, sometimes 3 miles, and I would stretch afterwards for another 30 minutes. I'd basically be at the gym for an hour and a half, and all I did was walk and stretch. If I felt like lifting afterwards, I would, but I just felt like I needed to try something new, and I just kind of trusted what my body and my brain was telling me. And that's what I did. And so pretty much after that, I think that was like February. So March went by, Blake and I had our anniversary, we went to Vegas. We were just kind of, it felt like we were finally like a couple again. And I know if you've been through it, you kind of understand. You kind of see each other as like, you are X, I am Y, and we need to make like a Z. And it just felt like we were finally like back to just enjoying life again. And we both kind of we talked a lot, and Blake was like, when do you want to start doing more treatments again? Like, I really want a baby, like I know you do, like we can't keep waiting forever. And we were both kind of talking about it a lot. And I said, you know what, maybe we're just not meant to have kids. Like, we love adopting cats, like maybe we should adopt a baby. Maybe we should just adopt more cats. Like, maybe that's the route for us. Like, I think that I would be okay. And I told Blake at one point, you know, I have a job that I love. I have a life I've created. I have a husband that is just so amazing. Cats, I'm gonna get emotional. I have cats that I just love so much. I can't imagine wanting or being greedy and asking for more. Like, I felt like a selfish person for being like, I have all these things, but I need this, like I need more. And that's not a bad thing, but I just felt like maybe I got really lucky in all the other areas of life, and maybe maybe I shouldn't have kids. I have a lot of trauma from family, and everybody does. And maybe I'm not meant to pass that down. Maybe, you know, I just kind of went through all that in my head, and I said, you know what? I'm so happy with like my life with Blake. I can't imagine. It's like being extremely full and then still like wanting more food because it's there or because you could. I just felt like maybe this is just all I should enjoy the life I've been given and like I've worked for, and that should be it. So I kind of came to that conclusion. Blake did too. We both were like, okay, we'll just enjoy life together. Like, we're so lucky that we found each other, and we're so happy. We both just were like, this is it. Like, that's okay. We were fine. We started just going about life and doing our anniversary, hanging out with friends. And that's another thing I felt really helped. I've been to therapy for the last 2 years. And I feel like I got a lot of my demons, my trauma, I really dealt with it. I didn't shove it down any longer. That's another thing. I really cleared a lot of my like emotional baggage. Not saying you have to do that for kids, but I think it's extremely important to deal with your stuff so you don't pass it on. Because I think a lot of the boomer generation has done that to our generation. And again, this is just personal experience. So I feel like therapy was really good for me, really finding a routine within myself. I've been cooking a lot more, a lot of stuff that I really wanted to have time to do, and I finally was able to. So that's one blessing. I'm very glad that I had more time, because I think if we had a baby right when we started trying, I wouldn't have been able to get all these things figured out. So again, I'm trusting timing. So anyways, fast forward to Coachella, where Blake and I met. You know, we were just going about life. And I've actually tracked the times that we did do it. And I actually wasn't like technically ovulating. And that's another thing I could never find when I was ovulating from like peeing on sticks. So I kind of gave up on that. And I was going off of if my body wanted to, we did it. If it didn't, we did it. And I think just listening to your body. Hi, Luce. Lucy's gonna come say hi. Come here. You gonna go over there? Well, come here. What do you want? She's gonna go over here. Well, come on. Okay. So anyways, I just really was listening to my body and just enjoying life. And I think, and then this is like crazy because right after Blake's birthday, I was hanging out with my friend and I just randomly was like, I'm gonna take a pregnancy test. And it was positive. And I can't tell you, nobody was more shocked than me because I was like, no, this isn't real. It's a bad test. There's no way. Like, because we weren't trying. I honestly had like let it slip my mind and just was gonna be done with like caring about that, and just if it happened, it happened. And I just remember being like, whoa, like I can't even believe that this is happening. So anyways, we talked about that in another video. But with that being said, I think no drinking. I think doing relaxing workouts like walking, and I got to start my morning with like one of my best friends every day, which was like so relaxing for me. And I really am a social person and I love connections with people. So I think that like started my mornings off very nice and very just all the things that make me happy. And going on hikes, taking care of my body with physical therapy. I have a lot of injuries that I was finally dealing with, therapy, and just getting routines and not doing like high intensity training anymore. And I thought for sure I would immediately get fat the minute I stopped doing, F45. And I didn't. I actually lost weight by walking and not drinking. So it's crazy like what your body will do. And I'm just one of those people that needs to do more relaxing things to like lose weight and whatever. So that's what I think worked for me and us. I can't speak for everybody, but I do think there is something about walking and just not putting your body through stress. Your body can't tell the difference between good stress and bad stress. So like a good stress would be a crazy workout where you'll feel so good afterwards. And a bad stress would be like something that stresses you out. So your body can't really tell the difference. So that's what I think worked for me. Sorry, this is very long-winded. I do want to get into my first trimester and just stuff that I learned and stuff that I did that helped me get through it. So I was actually okay for the first 2 weeks. I went to Stagecoach still. I did go home by like 8:30 every night and I tried to sleep. I was extremely tired. It was Blake's birthday for 420, 2 days before I found out I was pregnant, and I was having an edible and I didn't want it. I just didn't want any more. I was like, man, I don't really want any. That was my first sign because I've never had that feeling of not really wanting an edible because we do it like all the time at night. And so it's crazy what your body will like repel. I stopped wanting caffeine so much. I was napping in the middle of the day a lot. So basically my whole first trimester, I was like sleeping for 12 hours, 14 hours at night. I would take a 5-hour nap in the middle of the day. I was only awake for like 4 hours every day. I don't know how I did it. It was extremely hard on my mental health because I'm such a busy person normally. So that was really hard for me to wrap my head around. I did it. I tried to rest and get in the mindset of like, this is not about me anymore. So I did do that. After about 2 weeks, I remember I was shooting one day and I went home and immediately I felt the nausea, all the things like flood in. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be one of those people who's like so fine their whole pregnancy. No, it did not happen. And I immediately was like nauseous. I don't throw up. I'm actually one of those people who don't throw up. I just don't, never have. So I didn't really physically throw up, but I did have nausea. I felt like I was on a boat all the time. My food, I did not want to eat. So I actually ended up losing around 10 pounds within like the first week because I couldn't keep any food. Like I didn't want to eat it. I was eating barely 2 crackers a day. Like it was so hard to like eat. And I love food. You guys know I love food, and I couldn't do it. Everything tasted disgusting. It started to taste weird. So everything tasted like metal. And like spicy stuff would taste like metal, sweet stuff would taste like metal. Like everything I loved, I would try to eat like foods that I know I would love no matter what, tasted like shit every single time. So that is real. I really thought I'd be one of those people who like could eat anything. No. So I made it a couple weeks through that, and eventually I was like, I have to do some work, like I have to shoot, we have so much to do. So I went to my doctor, and this is one thing that not everybody will tell you, because I went to the doctor at like 6 weeks, and I was like, or 5 weeks maybe, and I was like, I just want an ultrasound, make sure it's not atopic, like I just want some information. And they were like, we don't do ultrasounds until about 7 or 8 weeks because they usually don't see anything. I did not know that. So I went back again at 7 weeks, I think. And I have a 5-week cycle, so this is just like a fun fact. They start your like how many weeks along you are by the date of your last period, not the day you find out you're pregnant. I don't know why, but I thought that was the fact, but like that's what I thought they did. So I have 5-week cycles, so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm already like 6-7 weeks. And they were like, because I have a longer cycle, doesn't matter. It just starts at 4 weeks regardless. So they subtracted a week from me, and I was really sad. So then I went in at 7 weeks, and they did an ultrasound. They actually did show me like a little, it was like a grain of, rice basically, but there was something in there. So I was really happy. We heard a heartbeat. I lost my shit, like completely lost my shit, because I could not believe it was actually a real baby in there, because you don't see anything. I don't know why I also thought I would just immediately be pregnant. My boobs got really huge, like huge. And I got really bloated, but you don't like look cute pregnant at all. So you just kind of feel like you're dying for nothing, with like no like signs of anything. So at their ultrasound and stuff, I finally was like, look, to my doctor, I can't do it. Like I'm a pretty strong person, and I can't do the morning sickness. I have to work. Like Blake and I worked every day, and like it's not like I can just take a month off like most people can't. And so he did prescribe me medication. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on here, but it is, what is it called? Oh, he gave me Zofran, which I took. You can take 2 a day, like every 8 hours, 1 a day every 8 hours, sorry. I tried to like wait as long as I could every day. And that's another thing, is you have to basically, when you wake up, eat something, drink water. I still to this day have to, or else I'll get sick. Eat crackers, I eat a bar, anything, tons of water, and that usually helps me not be sick. I would take one of my pills, and I was like, man, this is great. The pills kick in 30 minutes. I felt like a new woman. I had energy. I was running around like crazy. And then about a week goes by, and this is TMI, but I got extremely constipated. And I was like, I haven't gone to the bathroom, and I go very regularly. And I was like, oh, is this a side effect? And I looked it up. It is. So then I like had to find some way to like relieve that issue. So it was either take that medication, feel great, but not be able to go to the bathroom, and you look 6 months pregnant because you haven't gone to the bathroom in like, a week. And it was very uncomfortable. So I ended up kind of trying to, if I could go the day and just be sick for the day, I would do that. I ended up taking magnesium pills that my doctor gave me. They're like super like safe, holistic medicine, or not even medicine, it's just good to take anyways. So I took that to kind of like get that problem solved. So it was like after I had the constipation, it was like my morning sickness went away, because I realized constipation was actually worse. And then I actually started hiking when I was feeling like better on the medication. And my doctor said it was totally fine. So anybody who's against that, I totally am with you. I don't like taking medication at all. But there comes a point when you got to provide for your family. So I had to do what I had to do. And it was literally made for pregnant women. So I started hiking, and I swear hiking again and working out again helps my morning sickness stay at bay, because I only was sick for about 2-3 weeks, maybe a 4th week if I didn't take the medication. And then I stopped, and I've been completely fine. I'm still really tired. But yeah, that was rough. I don't wish morning sickness on anybody, and it looks different for everybody, but that was my experience. I'm still really tired all the time, and I can't push myself too much like I used to. So I try to give myself a couple tasks for the day, and then I just got to call it a day, which I'm like, I will complete 30 tasks in a day if you let me. And so it's really hard for me, but it's teaching me to slow down. And I understand why our body does this, because with a baby, you can't like do that. You can't be running around like crazy. So definitely was a lifestyle shift for me to calm down, and Blake has been amazing and was always like running to the store and buying me stuff. Ginger chews was another thing. I don't love ginger, so I would try to eat those, but they honestly gross me out even more. I'll link another chew that I got. It was really good. It helped with nausea, and like your mouth tastes like really gross all the time, and like it just, I don't know, it tastes like morning breath kind of forever. It's really gross. So I would always have these like little chews. I'll link them below. I'll link as much as I can. I also have been taking these Ritual. This is my second bottle of the prenatals. I hate taking just pills in general. So I put this on my nightstand and I will have this before bed because I don't like the feeling of medication. The other thing that I do take is Unisom. And my doctor recommended this before the other medication for nausea because you take this to go to sleep. I've been taking this for years because I knew it was pregnancy safe, so I could continue using it during pregnancy. I would take half a tablet or a whole tablet. Again, pregnancy safe, but again, ask your doctor before you like just listen to me. My doctor has cleared everything, so I take this at night to just sleep in general because I need sleep, and otherwise I'm super restless and I had crazy nightmares. That's another thing your first trimester you have. All of my fears were in a new nightmare every night, dream, whatever. So I was having crazy like nightmares about miscarriages, about people stealing my baby, like you name it, and they were crazy. And a lot of like sexual dreams too, which was weird, like vivid, which I've never had before either, but this is so TMI. Anyways, I'm trying to think of everything else. Anything else I didn't really know? My doctor is really great. I come in for an ultrasound usually every 2 or 3 weeks for the first trimester to check on everything. They do all the measuring. I did the blood test to check for like genetic stuff. All of our stuff is like good to go. The baby is super healthy. I'm also a low risk pregnancy, so he did all my blood work, all my like cholesterol, my metabolism, like all this huge panel. And because I work out and I am relatively healthy and I haven't drank all year, it really like makes me a low risk pregnancy, and I've stayed pretty active. So that was all really great news. We also did a lot of genetic testing back when we were doing fertility stuff, so I did know a lot of our stuff would come back pretty normal because we've already done it all. So that's the one benefit of doing tons of fertility stuff, is you have a lot of information. Besides that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I forgot about, but and that's the other thing is I did want to say, as hard as it is, I'm a huge control freak as far as my life and like how my life goes. I know, Goose. And so I had a really hard time not being able to like get pregnant when I wanted to, because I was like, no, this is the right time. I know it is. And now that literally when I got pregnant, I did the math, and majority of my modeling contracts actually ended right when I would start showing, and other contracts started then that I didn't need to have like a body for, if you will. Like I just needed hair or face. So it's just crazy how when you give up control, I know this is hard, and I know I'm one of those people who's like, when you stop trying, it'll happen. I hated those people. And I'm sorry if you're one of them, but it like sent me into a rage. So, but I'm here to tell you, as somebody who never wanted to let go of control, never wanted to stop doing my workouts, I didn't want to stop like any of my things because I knew they were good for me, but they were not good for like a baby to come into. I don't know how else to say it, but just giving up control and knowing that I was just gonna let God, the universe, whatever you believe in, just do whatever was best. And I just gave into that, and Blake and I just decided to enjoy each other, because I think that's when you would, if you were a baby looking down, when would you want to come in? Would you want to come down when your parents are arguing all the time and like stressed out all the time? No, you'd want to like drop in. That's what my therapist said. If you were a baby looking down, when would you want to drop into your parents' life? When they're like stressed and running around and traveling and going crazy and never really getting along. Not that Blake and I didn't get along, but like, like just, snippy and whatever. Or would you want to come down when they're like laughing and having fun all the time and just enjoying life? That's when you'd want to like little drop into the stomach. So that visual helped me kind of like, okay, what kind of a life would a baby want to come into right now? And I would want to come in on a happy marriage, happy vibes, all these things. And so that's what we just kind of went off of. And now I'm pregnant, which is crazy. It's super weird. Let me just tell you, it's very weird to be the pregnant person because you envisioned it for so long and now it's like happening. And I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's one of the craziest things. And like, I think at week 10 is when they do an ultrasound and it actually looks like a baby in there. And I lost it. I started crying. I've cried at every ultrasound, but I cried again. And yeah, it was just overwhelming because you're like, oh my God, there's actually a baby in there. Wild. Some things that my doctor has like cleared me for, and my doctor, I really like him. It's really important to get a doctor that is like good for you. So he's very good at not making me afraid of anything. So like he's cleared me to go free diving up to a certain depth or down to a certain depth. Like I can have poke maybe twice a week. Like I can have my pre-workout still, only 1 scoop, but he's not like, oh, can't have that, can't have that. I have other friends who've been pregnant and they're like, oh, my doctor said no. Maybe that was for them and that's fine. But like my doctor's like, there's no reason you can't have it. And if you feel like it isn't right, then don't do it. So I did go free diving back in Cabo a couple weeks ago. And I only went down a couple times and I was like, you know what, I'm pretty tired. I think that's enough. So I'm feeling it out and doing what I think is like best, but very good to have a doctor for me that is not like, nope, can't do that. He's like, do it. Why not? You did it before. Continue doing the things that you did before, just obviously like a lower scale or like a lesser scale, because you do have to like reserve your energy and all your energy is going to this baby and all your blood's going to this baby. So it's very like, you know, just a different mindset, but doesn't mean you have to stop your life. And I don't plan on stopping my life when the baby comes either. It's going to just come along on everything and we'll just do our new routine, you know? So I don't know, I feel like I'm babbling because I just like feel like I have so much information and now it's all left my head. But I hope this is helpful. Again, this is just what worked for us and for me. And I had a really hard time listening to everyone's opinions and all these like people being like, you should do this, you should do this, stop eating hot sauce, stop eating this. And it's just not how I was living my life. And I want to continue to live my life, you know, not like the same. I did make changes, but you don't have to change everything just to get a baby. It doesn't work like that. And I always say like there's crazy crackheads having babies. So like a little bit of stress in my life is not the worst. It's just that I had to make some like lifestyle changes in order for my body to like relax. And I just have a high stress mind and body. So I just needed to do those things and it worked. So yeah, again, just what happened for us. And I obviously wish everybody could get pregnant and we could all do it at the same time, because I feel I'm the only one pregnant right now with all my friends and I'm like, yeah, just me. But I am gonna also do a video with my physical therapist on all the exercises that I've been doing during my first trimester to help with second trimester and third trimester stuff that will be coming up. So that video is gonna be coming next. And I hope it helps you guys. It's been helping me a lot with like back pains, hip pains, all the things, because all your stuff gets really lubed up and my hip came out of place the other day because it's just like stuff's happening to your body and it's really weird. But I'm gonna end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave any questions below. I will happily do another one of these in my second trimester. But yeah, leave all your questions and I don't know. Thanks for watching.